brainwash you into buying the Crazy Frog ringtone. Statistically, 87% of the population saw the Crazy Frog adverts on an average of 26 times. An estimated 10% of the population saw the advert more than 60 times. The intensity of this advertising was it was unprecedented. No one had ever played so many fucking adverts. And it turned out, according to The Guardian, that Jamster had bought 73,716 spots across TV channels in May alone. The Crazy Frog was now a superstar. All of this marketing was working. On top of the original ringtone, there was also the song called Axel F, which was the Beverly Hills Cop theme tune, Crazy Frogified.
Sort of making the ultimate hit by taking the most popular mobile phone tune and combine it with the most popular character for mobile phones and make a smash hit.
It outsold Coldplay 4-1. It was number 1 in 30 countries. It had 3 albums, 7 music videos, 2 Crazy Frog video games, endless merchandise, a Crazy Frog tour across Australia with this nightmarish looking guy in a costume, TV show and a film were in the talks. Crazy Frog and Jamster were winning. Around this time, Jamster was said to have earned over $500 million. And Crazy Frog was by far their most popular ringtone and was definitely earning the most shekels. But as you would expect, people weren't that happy about this. There was multiple reasons why you might hate Crazy Frog. It might be that the advert is annoying, or you hate the song, which I'm not gonna lie, I actually think the song was a banger, but it doesn't really work with the tone of video for me to admit that. And so, like, the advertising standards companies were getting complaints from this. There was over 400 complaints. People grew to very quickly hate the Crazy Frog.
They pushed it way too hard, so people started hating this character. But it's a lovable little creature. You know, if you see it 3 times each commercial break on TV, nobody likes it.
But on top of him being annoying, there was another complaint, and that was his knob. Basically, for whatever creative reason, the creator, Eric, found it vital that Crazy Frog had a knob. It was never really explained why he had a knob. He just did. And because obviously on television, you can't just walk around with your Wangelina Jolie hanging out, there was around about 60 people that complained to the advertising board about his knob. And so around 2005, questions were being raised over whether Crazy Frog would get banned. But you see, when it comes to the conversation of banning, it wouldn't be his little todger that would get him in trouble. There would be something much worse. And so that leads us on to the accusations of scamming. Around this time in 2005, there was a lot of conversation over the practices of Jamster. This quick rise of success did bring about some suspicion. How were they able to afford to do all this? How were they making so much money? It's a ringtone. Do people love it that much? Well, basically, yes. Some people loved it, obviously enough to buy it, but there was a little hidden side to this. Effectively, when you watch the advert, you would see it and you would think, oh, if I want this great piece of art on my phone, I pay £3.
Get the Crazy Frog as video for your mobile and show it to your friends as often as you like.
I pay that and I get the thing that you're advertising to me on my phone for the amount of £3. But if you thought that, you were wrong. You see, what you were paying for with that £3 was literally just the ability to buy ringtones. You were signing up to a hidden subscription service that was not explained anywhere, even on their website. You couldn't find out that that was what you were buying. Your phone would be inundated with other text saying, oh, you like Crazy Frog? Well, how about Brian the Beaver or Sarah the Serpent? To receive that message, it cost you another £3. There was a thing called chargebacks where basically you were paying to receive a text message. And if you send a bunch of them every single day, that starts to add up. And very quickly, a few people started to notice it. There was endless reports of people racking up these insane phone bills and then not knowing how to cancel it. There was no obvious way to get rid of it. You couldn't find the answer to it on their website, nowhere.
Jamster is under investigation for misleading downloaders.
Every few days, I got texts from Jamster. It wasn't until my cell phone bill arrived this week that I found out that each text from the Crazy Frog people had cost any more than $5. In total, the charges came to about $70 or so.
And so people were panicking, calling up the phone provider, and all these complaints started to pile up. And that's only from the people that realized that they were paying for a subscription service. I'm not gonna lie, if you were the type of person that was dumb enough to buy this ringtone, I'm gonna hazard a guess that maybe you're not the type of person to check your phone bill every month. And so in theory, tons and tons of people were getting scammed by Jamster and being completely oblivious to it. And so the ASA started to look into Jamster, and let's just say things weren't looking very good for the Crazy Frog. As time progressed and the investigation went on, it was revealed that loads of people were complaining, loads of people were being scammed. One of the main accusations against Crazy Frog was the fact that this was targeted at children. Jamster revealed that only 1.6% of their customers were under age 16, which sounds minuscule, but considering they had 50 million subscribers, 1.6% is equal to about 1.9 million users. And that's not to mention probably parents paying for kids who were buying this thing. On top of the children thing, it was also the fact that it was so unclear you were signed up to a subscription service. If you took it at face value and didn't watch the television with a microscope, you would have missed the fact that it flies across screen, kind of vaguely alluding to the fact that this is a subscription service. But even still, it hardly explained it, even if you were to read that. And so the ICSTIS ruled that Jamster showed a careless disregard for customers. It ordered them to give refunds to the 381 complaints and imposed a fine on one of the companies called MyBox, a fine of £40,000, which, if that sounds like nothing to you compared to the $500 million the company generated, you wouldn't be wrong. It was obviously ridiculous. They got a slap on the wrist. And this was because back then there just really wasn't any regulations around ringtone advertisements. And by all intents and purposes, they hadn't really broken any rules. But this would be the beginning of the end of the Crazy Frog. 2005 marked the